It seems as though the Pietermaritzburg High Court believes that any decisions made at this conference could be problematic. So the big breaking news you can see running over at the bottom of your screen, the High Court in Pietermaritzburg issuing an interdict over this ANC conference in KZN. It's now been halted. It seems that particular matter has been postponed to the 7th of July. Let's get a reaction to that news coming out of KZN. I'm joined by Olani Dube from the Zobera Institute for Research and Development. Olani, good evening to you. Are you surprised by the court's decision?
Not at all. I think a number of people have been praying for such kind of a positive decision from the court, although they were not willing to say it openly. But I think it is a good and a very positive decision that has been taken by the court.
Give us a bit of background to exactly what is happening down in KZN politics. We generally talk about national politics ahead of 2019, but very much, Olani, I'm sorry, you'll agree that ahead of 2019, KZN is very much the talking point.
Look, I think the problem of ANC in KZN is the reality that the ANC generally, if I paraphrase Ngukiwationga and say they are covering their self-created sinkholes with the banana leaves, and then they say to members, run over these banana leaves as if they are not going to fall. And so what happened today or in 5 minutes back is the reality that the KZN ANC is in a sinkhole that need proper analysis and need honesty for it to be rescued.
Help me understand how the ANC is going to get on top of this ahead of the 2019 elections. And this is not an insignificant number of branches, Olani. It's 44 out of 88. You can call me a liar for 50%, but half of the ANC in KZN does not want this conference to go ahead. There are big problems there.
Look, we tend to enclave our analysis to only ANC bona fide members, but the ANC is voted by also those who are not the bona fide members of the ANC, meaning the card-carrying members or those who have paid the dues to be the members of the ANC. I think the issue of ANC is a worrying factor to the whole population of KwaZulu-Natal, because we have to bear in mind that currently ANC is the governing party, and so there are lots of other tab-rooted issues as you see that the ANC is in this sinkhole. Let me give an example. The Department of Health is in a serious shambles. The killings that are happening in this province is not only worrying the ANC members, but it's also worrying the ordinary citizen. And so such kind of a decision from the court, I think it must be it must give the ANC in this province kind of a self-introspection, so that when they go to the next year's election, they go there with honesty to the constituency and as a united force. But if they are not going to sit down and try to sort out their problems, trust me, I fear that the ANC might not be in government in KwaZulu-Natal next year.
There are many people who would agree with that sentiment, and the only reason I say that, Olani, is because, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong on this conference, which has now been halted, is essentially a rerun of the conference that was meant to take place in November 2015. That was declared null and void by the Pietermaritzburg High Court. So let's go for the best part of 3 years later, and it seems that they still cannot get their house in order.
Look, the fact is the ANC in this province is not united at all. The ANC in this province is literally at each other's throats. Look, the number of killings. All that is an indication of an ANC in a deep sinkhole. And so, as I've said it before, the ANC need a proper inspection. They need to sit down, and then they need to ask themselves, if is still a relevant organization that is here to serve the interest of the general public, or is an organization that is meant to serve the interest of its elite members.
Perhaps a final question to you, Olani, if I could. We've now got the ANC president, Cyril Ramaphosa. He's a man who's going to be looked at to now and try and solve this crisis as the man in charge, but it is very much in his predecessor's stronghold of KZN. How deep-rooted do you think the problems are going to be when you have Ramaphosa trying to fix situations where many people, if we saw what happened at court today, still support the former president?
Look, Ramaphosa is a man of goodwill. It's always the case with a man of goodwill. The man of goodwill is someone who you expect a lot. Is someone that you put your trust to him. But in most cases, the man of goodwill do not deliver, because he always look after his own interest. And so in this case, I think the president, Cyril Ramaphosa, is supposed to roll his sleeves and put aside being the man of goodwill, but be a man of practicality and come to KZN and confront this kind of situation, because at the end of the day, if the ANC want to have a serious win in the general election next year, they can't overlook the importance of this province.
I really do appreciate your time in speaking to us this evening. Olani Dube from the Zobera Institute for Research and Development, giving us reaction to that breaking news. You can see bottom of your screen at the moment. If you've missed it, let me remind you, the ANC have been barred by a court order from holding their KZN elective conference.